Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have a great video today that I'm excited about. It is from Living Walks and it is Port Isaac, Cornwall, UK, 4K walking tour narrated. Um, so many of you know that this is the village from Doc Martin. I love that show. It was one that I watched with my grandma. She actually introduced me to a ton of British shows, like this one, as well as Keeping Up Appearances. Seen all of both of those shows, and actually, I also watched the new, kind of American version of Doc Martin. Um, it's called, I think it's Better Medicine. Um, I think it's in the off season right now. We watched all of the first season and it was really, really good. Very similar to Doc Martin, but it also has its own kind of vibe. But I thought it was really cool that the real Doc Martin actually came in and played the guy's dad on Better Medicine, which is super, super cool. And he was phenomenal on it. But yeah, I will link this video in the description along with links to Patreon, how you can support the channel here on YouTube as well as other platforms. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this, guys.
Today we're in the beautiful village of Port Isaac in Cornwall, England.
Gorgeous.
I'll be exploring its main streets, its winding back streets and its harbour. And I'll chat a bit about why this village is so interesting along the way. By the way, we have already filmed a natural sound walk through Port Isaac. But as we've had a few requests for a guided walk, we thought we'd bring you this tour.
This is cool. You guys subscribe to this
So
channel?
most of
You
you
should.
already know the village is the filming location of the Doc Martin TV series. And so you might know the village by the name of Port Wenn.
Right.
Incidentally, if you're a fan of the series, you might recognise Doc Martin's house just here, over to our right. Anyway, I'll talk a bit more about Doc Martin later along the walk. But first of all, where exactly is Port Isaac? Well, it's located in the middle of the North Cornwall coast, which makes it a pretty good base for visiting all the towns and villages in North Cornwall, including Padstow, Newquay and Polperro. The closest towns, which are around 10 miles away, are Wadebridge and Camelford. And the amazing biodomes of the Eden project are around 20 miles away and definitely mustn't be missed. It's cheaper to pre-book online rather than buying tickets at the visitor centre.
You know what's cool is it is as beautiful here as it is on Doc Martin, and that's what I think me and my grandma always kind of talked about because you see a lot of the village in the show that it's so beautiful. It'd be so cool to live there. It just seems like a really kind of chill, beautiful spot to live. If any of you live there or have lived there or you're close by where you get to visit quite a bit, you gotta let me know. Some of you even told me like there's a lot of little villages similar to this within the UK. You guys will have to let me in on some of the other ones that you think are like it. Maybe we can look at them.
For an adult, it's £38 online and £42 if you roll up on the day. So I think you can already see that the village is a wonderful collection of whitewashed fishermen's cottages, most of which date back to the 18th and 19th centuries. The village is pretty much centred around the harbour, and the pier incidentally was built during the reign of Henry VIII.
Look at that view! What a great place to retire.
Port Isaac's fishing history goes right back to the 16th century, though I believe the port was even in use as early as Saxon times. Anyway, from 2004 onwards, things changed dramatically for what was a pretty sleepy village. Firstly with the arrival of the Doc Martin film crew, and then with the influx of tourism following its surprising worldwide success.
Yeah, it was
It
on for
seems
a
there was just
while,
something
wasn't it?
about the brilliant but flawed character played by Martin Clunes and the lovely Cornish scenery that appealed to people all around the globe. Incidentally, did you know the name Port Wenn wasn't just made up? It was in fact the old name of the nearby cove of Port Quin.
Ah, I love
Oh, and
this
here's another
narrow
interesting Doc
walkway.
Martin fact. Doc Martin's full name is Martin Ellingham, and the name of the series creator is Dominic Minghella. So you might have worked out that Ellingham is actually an anagram of Minghella. So what else has the village become famous for? The original 1970s Poldark television series was also filmed here. I wonder if it's
Seen
available
like
on
a
YouTube
couple
somewhere.
episodes of that.
I do know that loads of really good British 70s dramas are on YouTube, so it might be worth having a look. In
Adorable little
2000,
houses.
Port Isaac was also used as the location for the film Saving Grace, where Martin Clunes played a doctor, Martin Bamford. So yes, you might have guessed that it was this film that Doc Martin became a spin-off from.
I think
In fact,
we
there were
watched
two film
that.
sequels.
I believe we went back because we had finished the series. We kept rewatching episodes though. But I think we did because it was a similar character, but it was just a little bit different. He wasn't quite as Doc Martin-y yet. I feel like he was a little more personable in the film, if I remember right. But I loved his character. I sympathized with him a lot, to be honest.
Doc Martin, and The Legend of the Cloutee, before the character was tweaked to become the ill-tempered Doc Martin we came to know.
Was he ill-tempered? I don't know.
And very importantly, the village is also famous for being the home of the folk group Fisherman's Friends.
Huh.
Fisherman's Friends have been performing since 1995. Most of them grew up in Port Isaac, and they were
cool
either
old
fishermen,
door.
lifeboatmen, or coast guards. Today I think they must be the world's most famous shanty folk group. I do like a bit of shanty. The group used to meet on the harbour, not only to play for their own amusement.
I love the homes. I just think they're adorable. They're so like just coastal. I bet it's expensive to live here or somewhere like it. I would guess. Because I don't know. Y'all
To raise
surprise
money
me.
for charity. In fact, I've heard it said that they still perform now and again in the summer months, so you might catch them if you're lucky. So let's talk a bit more about Port Isaac. Well, the name Port Isaac actually comes from the Cornish Porth Isaac, meaning corn port, hinting at the days it was a centre for timber and corn. The coming of the railways changed everything, as it made it so much easier to move goods around by land, and so the village decided to shift its focus and took a bit of a punt on becoming a pilchard fishing port. It did pretty well out of it too, until pilchards for some reason just fell right out of the nation's taste in the early 20th century.
Huh.
Anyway, wandering around, you'll see that in spite of the modern, explosive growth in tourists, the port is still a working port, and fishermen still unload their catches of crabs, fish, and lobsters at the Platte, which is the
place to get
cobbled
some
area sloping
seafood.
down to the harbour. Another interesting fact about Port Isaac is that it's renowned for having one of the narrowest thoroughfares in the entire British Isles. Its real name is Temple Bar, but locals aptly call it Squeezy Belly Alley.
I was just before you said that, I was like, the only downside that I've seen thus far would be trying to drive around the town. I think that you'd be better off probably just walking for the most part, if you could do it.
Unbelievably, it's just 50 centimetres wide at the narrowest end.
Wow.
It's not just Fisherman's Friends and Doc Martin that brings visitors to the town. It's also known as a foodie's destination too, and it has some really good fish restaurants.
I bet.
Nathan Outlaw has 2 Michelin-rated restaurants in Port Isaac, Outlaws New Road and the Fish Kitchen. We've not been ourselves, but we've heard they're both excellent and have really imaginatively prepared food, so you might want to give them a go if you visit.
Crab legs.
So what about getting out and about in the area? Well, Port Isaac is a heritage coast area and area of outstanding natural beauty. The walk from Port Isaac to Tintagel along the coast path is really beautiful, so we'd recommend that. Regarding beaches, well, Port Isaac only has a shingle beach, but other beaches are within easy driving distance and some you could walk to. There's Damer Bay, which is a dog-friendly, sandy beach, and the Blue Flag Polsiath Beach. And also there's the National Trust-owned Trebarwith Strand. Regarding getting here, I wouldn't really recommend driving down into the harbour area.
No.
I'd imagine you could well encounter a few standoffs with other cars trying to drive up the other way. The tiny streets in Port Isaac were definitely not meant for the car, so do park on the hill.
Yeah, that would
If you
be
do come by train, the closest rail station
an
to Port
anxiety
Isaac
attack
is
waiting to
Bodmin
happen.
Parkway, and from London Paddington it takes about 4 hours. The nearest airport is Newquay, and that's about 22 miles away. So what about places to stay? Well, actually we're here in the high summer season, but we're staying here on a home exchange.
Oh, cool.
It's something we've been using for quite a few years, so we might be a bit out of touch with prices of hotels. But we do know it can be pretty expensive to stay anywhere in Cornwall, so I definitely wouldn't plan to come in the school holidays unless you can help it. There's a massive choice of boutique hotels and B&Bs though, so at least there's lots of choice. And staying in one of the nearby smaller villages, I'm sure would drop the price a bit. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little walk with me through Port Isaac.
So can you
We
swim?
plan to bring you loads
here?
more narrated guides through some of our favourite towns and cities throughout the world. And we'll still be keeping the natural sound walks going too, for those of you who prefer that. So on that note, if you'd like to see a full walkthrough of the village with natural sound and showing a few more Doc Martin locations, then there'll be a link at the end. So until the next time, take care and we'll see you soon.
It's just absolutely beautiful. What a beautiful place to live. You guys definitely have to let me know if you live in this area or close to it, or if you've considered it. I'd love to try to find like a property tour or a house for sale video that we could watch in this area, just to see what the inside of some of these homes look like, and like kind of get a good idea of what the price is. There's definitely been some spots that I've seen that I'm like, how is it just 2 seconds away from the ocean, and it's so much cheaper than what you would ever find here anywhere on the coast. But yeah, I loved that video. I thought that was just an incredible tour. You got to see the village, the streets, the beautiful water, just the landscape. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Let me know if there's some other places that you think I should look at. Let me know in the comments, and I will catch you guys tomorrow with another video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.